Airman Cave Archives! Knowing and doing are two different things.
Hey, welcome back to Airman Cave Archives. All right, so tonight I thought I'd talk about being a doctor. All right, so if you go into the recruiter's office and you say that you want to join the service and they're asking all these questions, make sure if on the medical form you say that you have an issue. For instance, say your grandmama has always said that you've had asthma because whenever you ran you couldn't breathe. Okay, maybe you have asthmatic problems with goldenrod or whatever it is that's in your local area, and that's what's causing you to not be able to breathe. Is your grandmama a doctor, a physician, a nurse, any of those? No? Okay, then you can't put down on the form that you've been medically diagnosed with something if you haven't gone to a physician to be diagnosed. So it can't be, he said, she said. It needs to be, there's documentation, because I will tell you, if you filled out on the form, the recruiter's going to ask for the proof or the diagnosis paperwork, something to support your claim that you have been diagnosed with this. Because then you have to go through medical waivers and things of that nature. Now, say you don't tell your recruiter because it slipped your mind, and you go down to MEPS, or the Military Insurance Processing Station, and whenever you redo the paperwork and you write down asthma or whatever, the case may be, hammer toe. If you haven't been medically diagnosed with it, you can't put it down because it's hearsay. And more importantly, don't put it down after you haven't told your recruiter and then say that you think you told your recruiter, because what that does, it puts a cloud over that recruiter, A, in their ability to be able to answer the questions and document them, and B, their integrity, because now it looks like said recruiter has fibbed on the documentation or tried to pressure you into saying something that's not true. Like, oh no, I don't have any asthma issues. Meanwhile, you have an inhaler in your back pocket that you're having to use at MEPS because you're stressing out that you lied. So if you've been diagnosed something by a physician, somebody in the medical field, not grandmama that, bless her heart, has been canning tomatoes all her life, and now she knows that you have asthma. It needs to be, and by the way, she went on WebMD, and so she checked all the blocks off, and you now have been diagnosed by grandmama. It needs to be by a physician. So if you haven't been diagnosed, don't put it down. If there's any doubt, make an appointment. And if you think you do, then get the documentation so that if you need to have a medical waiver, the medical waiver can be pushed up. True story, I had a guy that had asthmatic issues, and basically that's kind of a disqualifier based off the severity. And so I was told, oh, he'll never get in. Not going to be able to join the Air Force. I was like, oh man, bummer. This guy's really cool. He wants to be special forces. I mean, he's really good at the test and everything for it. You know what? I'm going to get the documentation and let's just throw it up and see if he can get through the waiver process. And so come to find out, he had asthma, and based off the severity for the requirements or the threshold that the Air Force Surgeon General requires, he met the guidelines. Did he pass the Special Forces test? No, but he went on to be in a good career field, and so he was happy, and I was just ecstatic that I went through the process like you're supposed to. I mean, that's why there's a medical review process, and got them into the Air Force. So again, we, the recruiters, we want you in. If you're qualified and eligible, the Air Force wants you in. But you need to be honest up front with those medical requirements and have documentation for it, so that if there is an issue that's disqualifying, we can submit a med waiver and be able to get you in. So thanks for stopping by. And again, if you have any questions, comment below, and I'd love to be able to help you out. See you next time.
Airman Cave Archives! Knowing and doing are two different things.